Welcome to another episode of the Cat Mac Talk Show. And I know it's crazy time where you are talking to me from, and I thank you wholeheartedly and implicitly. I have Anna Byrne that has a really interesting story because she's Polish, but she's living in Ireland.
Yeah.
And it's kind of 12 midnight. So I thank you for taking the time out to have a chat to me. I'm really honored because time is precious, especially with our loved ones. And they're probably snoring right now. This
What
is my
breed is that?
Maltese Shih Tzu.
Love it. I have teacup of Yorkie. It's as small as this.
Oh, and so Anna Byrne is a mentor and a coach of in-house success. So I'd like to know how that started, when it started. However, I'd like to know a little bit about why you're doing what you're doing. And I'm going to quote something really interesting that you have written.
Oh, perfect.
Yeah, which is really interesting. But how did you start doing what you're doing? Because no one is born with the preconception that, hey, I'm going to start a business called In-House Success, and I'm going to be teaching women that have a crappy nervous system, quoting you, have a nervous system that is programmed, I'm going to quote you, stuck because their nervous system is still programmed for their current reality, not the level that they are trying to reach. That is so damn true.
Mm,
So
yeah.
true. I love that. So over to you, Anna. The mic's with you. Go for
Thank
it.
you. Thank you so much. And thank you so much for having me here. Absolutely. Thank you. So, oh my God, how did I start it? My background is in sales, right? I used to be a teacher. I was teaching kids. So I have lots of, kid psychology. I absolutely love it. Then I moved to Ireland. And because I wanted to work from home, I was looking for something that really I could do from home, right? And accidentally, I found a job as a salesperson and I absolutely loved it. Like I was working with a coach. She's one of the top coaches in worldwide. And I absolutely loved what I was doing. However, there came a time that, I had all the mindset, I had all the strategy, I had everything that, I had one-to-one coaching with one of the best, coaches. But came the time that it doesn't matter how much I tried. It doesn't matter how much mindset I did. It doesn't matter how much healing I did. I had a healer that, she was healing my energy, everything. It doesn't matter how much strategy I changed. It doesn't matter how I put myself out there. I felt like I'm hitting a wall. Like I was hitting a wall. And yes, I did have the, concept of self-image and I did repeat my affirmation. I tried to act as if, right? But it doesn't matter how much I tried. I was hitting the wall. I was hitting the wall. I was hitting the wall. I would go up and down, and then I would be stuck, right? I would be again at the top and then I would down. And I was like so frustrated because I knew so much. I was like a walking encyclopedia. I was reading, I was studying, I was like, doing the courses and everything, and it was so frustrating. Like it was so frustrating. And I opened myself, like I was asking myself, what is that? Because I know it all. I am a doer. If you tell me to do something, implement something, I do it. So what it is? And then I came across somatic work at work, body work, right? And as soon as I started to release the traumas that were stuck in my body, within 2 months, I quadrupled actually my income, right? Without doing
within
anything
2
else.
months.
2 months, 2 months,
So
right?
you did. So you
So
did breath.
while working at a business, while working for somebody else, right? I quadrupled like 4 times my income. I went from 2 sales to 8 sales, right? And it was easy. It was effortless. I wasn't doing anything else, right? And then I was thinking like, you know what? It's amazing what my coach is doing. But I know there is so many beautiful women, female entrepreneurs that are doing the mindset, that are going from the coach to coach to coach, from coach to coach, looking for another strategy, looking for another piece where truth is that they have everything inside of them. sometimes it's just blocked. And it doesn't I realized that it doesn't matter how much you fake it until you make it, how much affirmation you do, how much you repeat your, new self-image. That's what I was doing previously. It does not matter if my body and my nervous system is stopping me, is blocking me from attracting,
It really is the
right?
nervous system, isn't it? Because I've gone through something very similar. And why do we as women, I'm not going to talk about men now, I'm just going to talk about women, but I dare say men do it as well. And I'm just going to talk generally. Why do we block the crap that we've had since childhood? It sits, and I'm sitting here thinking about it, and whilst I'm talking to you live, my belly wants to.
Yeah. So yeah, it's very often we have like our body. I'm reading very interesting book now. I think it's called Your Body Always Keeps the Score. And is it so true? Because it doesn't matter what's happened in the
Your body
past,
keeps the score.
keeps the
Okay,
score. Yes.
writing it
So
down.
I'm not gonna tell you who wrote it because I don't remember.
That's right.
But what does it say is exactly same what I'm teaching, right? And what I'm helping my clients overcome. That it doesn't matter what happened in the past. It doesn't matter if your mind remembers that or not. Your body does. If somebody in the childhood told you you are not good enough, maybe now you are working on your mindset, but your body, your nervous systems is programmed to believing I'm not good enough.
Mm-hmm.
And subconsciously, unknowingly, very often we are holding on to that. What is another thing that I noticed and I want to talk to here about that? It's that very often we are trying to change our mindset without acknowledging the emotions and the feelings in our body. And this is something that really helped me with my business as well, with, leaving the job that I was doing as a salesperson and starting successful business, helping my clients triple their income. Like it's crazy stuff what can happen
Did you
when you
find that, because you talked about, did you find that you were just masking it? It was just a mask?
I'm not sure if I was masking it. I just truly did not know what it is
Okay.
that what I'm blocking, right? I just didn't know. Because sometimes like our conscious mind is really tricky and it just blocks like what is not comfortable, it just blocks. Like I had so many memories coming from a childhood where I would never think about such a things that happened, but they did. So once I unblocked them, everything started to happen, right? I started to shift.
What would be a tool that you can share, or an example that you can share to our audience that would do that? So, because not
Perfect.
everybody knows, if you can give me an example, that'd be great. Because I'm now thinking, oh, what can help me?
So the main thing that I use for myself and for my client is simple tool called breathwork. But there is different types of breathwork, right?
Mm-hmm.
I focus on a conscious connected breathwork because it goes the deepest, right? It helps you release the most. The breathwork I do is belly breathing. And where do we store emotions? Where do we store traumas? Where do we store all that, excuse my language, crap we are
Cool.
holding on to in our belly, right? That's what you're saying, right? I'm talking to you, but my belly feels like I want to vomit, right? But other tool that I believe is really, really helpful, and you can use it anytime, anywhere, is
That's what
let
I love.
Yes, is the technique of letting go. So what is the technique of letting go? It's basically focusing on your emotions. So if you, let's say you have a money beliefs, right? And you're stressing about money, you feel the stress. So you ask yourself, okay, where is this in my body? Where is that? And you feel the emotions right now in your belly. You can do it right now with me if you still have belly thing. Okay. So just focus on your emotion. Just focus on that pain. Just focus on it. Don't judge. Don't think what it represents. Just focus on it. Okay.
I am. This is a
And
live
when you
example.
feel, when just take a few deep breaths and start talking to that pain. I know it might sound silly. Start talking to it like to you would talk to little child. I see you. I feel you.
I
I
see you,
acknowledge you.
feel
Right.
you, I
And
acknowledge
I'm
you,
ready to let you go.
and I'm
And just
ready to.
repeat that a few times. Just do it for yourself. You can do it in your mind. Do deep breaths and just do it. And you will see that slowly the pain, then the discomfort goes away. It sometimes shifts to different part of your body, right?
I was just going to say that. It is now shifted, and I'm just going to be upfront and say it. It's now shifted to say, I really would love to go to the bathroom.
Go for it, right?
Well, I'm not going to go now, but I am like, wow, it's really shifted. The crap's
You know
going.
what?
It's
It's
leaving.
releasing as well. It's releasing as well. I know it's crazy, but this is the biggest tool. And what I like to do after I shift that, I like to ask myself, okay, so I had the fear about money. How would I love to feel? I would love to feel abundant. How does abundance feel, right? So you are not only releasing the fear from your body, you're not holding on to it. You're not changing it with affirmation. You are releasing it, letting go. And then you are quickly changing it into how do I want to feel? So this is body reprogramming. You reprogram your not mind, because when we are repeating affirmation, we are working only on 5% of the equation, right? Because you consciously repeat something. When you change your body, the way your body feels, that's what changes your reality. And I love studying Joe Dispenza as well. He talks about that a lot. So
Yeah.
this one tool, which I gave you right now, just do it whenever you feel fear around money, around clients, around showing up, like around anything. And I
Anything.
promise you, you're gonna start shifting very quickly.
I know I can tell by your eyes. Your eyes, all of a sudden, when you talk about it, seriously, they go bang. And it's
Yes,
like,
because I truly believe what I'm saying, right? Because
because this is what happened to you.
I've done it for myself, but then I'm helping my clients to do the same. And it's what is crazy as well with this exercise, with this tool, you can even heal the pain, right? My client had a pain from the childhood, like her, what you call it, like her
Yeah.
wrist was hurting, right? And then she started to focus on that, right? Done exactly the same exercise without any attachment, if it's going to go away or not. She just tried to do it and it disappeared. She said she didn't feel a pain for many months now. The other clients shifted her migraines, right? Because you are releasing the stress, the traumas, the unwanted beliefs from your body. And when your body frees itself, it pays you off, right? You feel better.
When your body frees itself, it pays you off. Did everybody just hear that? When your body frees itself, it pays you off. Like, if that's not a tagline, and I will eat my toenails, because that's so true.
It is, isn't it?
What you do is very needed, and we sometimes think it has to be so difficult, yet it's not.
Yeah.
And I love the fact, Anna, that you've gone back to basics. We've gone back to basics of the stuff that, before we've always had books, but before the world was blah, 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 how did people heal themselves? They didn't have the phone. They didn't have the cameras. They didn't have the Annas of the world, the Cat Macs of the world. They did it in the basic world. And
Yes.
I'm so glad that people like you exist to be able to
Thank you.
help me, because it means that I can heal myself really quickly. We just did live just then. And so
Yes.
can you. Can I ask you a question? Why do we wait so long to do this stuff? Why do we have to hit rock bottom and create those stories and the BS stuff that we have, and life happens, and it will, and before we go, man, I got to do
So you
something.
know what? I'm not sure if I can answer that question. I believe that there is a time for everybody. I believe that even if half year ago you weren't ready for something, today you might be, right? Because even this, I always, when I start to work with clients, I said, listen, I'm not going to teach you much. I'm not going to teach you much. You are perfect. You are encyclopedia already. You've read so many books. You've done so many studies. I'm not going to teach you much. What I'm going to help you, I'm going to help you experience. We are experiencing the shift, right? Because we don't need any more teachers. Everything with AI, you can read any books. You can even have a coach with ChatGPT, right? What we really need is experiencing the change. That is my belief, right? This is my belief. And I know that some people, like, maybe year ago, like a year before that, whatever happened to me happened, I wasn't ready for this shift, right?
Yeah, true. Once there's a timeline. Sometimes when, yeah, I totally agree. Things happen. I'm not going to say things happen for a reason. They happen at the right time when you're ready to experience it. Otherwise, you're going to continuously block it. That's my theory.
Yes, this is so true. And very often what I heard, like I hear, like I believe that now, I didn't believe that in the future, that sometimes you will learn the same lesson over and over and over and over again until you are ready to change it. And you will see the same opportunities over and over and over again until you actually are ready to see it.
That's true. So I have a question for you because I was looking at your bio. What's the hidden link experience?
But the hidden link experience is one of the most powerful tools I use with my clients. That is the very first lesson we actually do. And this is a deep letting go routine that helps you release your past experiences, your past traumas, not just from your mind and from your body. And I have to tell you something. I had a client recently going through that, and we will talk. I want to talk about the body again. She is diabetic, and within a week, her results shifted so much that she couldn't believe because she released so much. So that's a hidden link experience, because before we can change, before we can change our beliefs somatically, right, with
Yep.
body,
Yep.
we need to let go whatever we have to let go of anything that is holding us back emotionally.
Yeah. Yeah. So
Because
that's,
if you are going into changing your mindset, changing your beliefs, but there is like this rock holding you down, it's gonna be difficult because it always will drag you down.
yeah. 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 I love what you do. So, and this has changed your whole world and the way you're doing things.
Completely.
And it started from you being a teacher, getting into sales, going, hang on, but I'm doing all the things. I'm doing all the things. I know all the things, yet I'm still blocked. I'm like a roller coaster. And it
Yeah.
really was from the somatic healing. Somatic, Greek word for soma, which is the body. So, and it is from healing your wounds in your body. And we continuously walk around with pain. Yeah, we don't really have to, do
Could
we?
you
And it's,
repeat that?
we don't really have to walk around in pain.
No, we don't. Oh my God, no, we don't. Do you know what? Since I started to, while I was working as a salesperson, I was experiencing lots of body symptoms, right? I was experiencing like because I was in stress, right? In
Yeah, I was
sales,
going
the
to say it's
target
stress,
and
sales,
everything, like
budgets,
it's
bottom lines. Yeah.
yes, it's just stress. So I end up in A&E with heart attack. I didn't fully had a heart attack, but I had my body was showing me this way, right?
Wow.
I had kidney stones. I couldn't, my hips gave up on me. I couldn't walk for a week, right? Because my body was giving me signals, and I think it's time to move to something different. Anna, that's not a place for you. Anna, you are stressed here too much, right? So when I started to use these tools, I quickly healed everything. And even when I was sitting at the emergency room with my heart attack, because it felt like I couldn't breathe, I like it was the worst experience. I was sitting there, I was like, I don't have a heart attack. And I started to do my tours, right? I started to do this because at that stage I was already familiar with my tools, and I was just doing that and doing that. And before they even took me to the doctor, I felt much better. But it's okay, I'm here, I better check it, right? Anyway, but that's the power of it, right? I'm not saying like everything is gonna disappear, right? Because you
No,
didn't
we're
you
not
didn't
saying
come
that.
to that
No.
stage,
Yeah.
in one day. But if you try and if you believe that's gonna work, it will.
It does. And, I'm just thinking back 30 years ago, I choked in a restaurant. And well, I went to it was a Thai restaurant, and I choked on a spring roll. So the pastry stuck right here and I couldn't breathe. So I automatically went to the emergency room, and they put anesthesia down my throat to take the blockage out. Now, all of a sudden, went into shock, and they press the button code blue. I said, I can't breathe. I can't breathe. I can't breathe. I can't breathe. And so they pressed code blue saying, this girl's suffocating. She's dying. And because everything had blocked up. And the two nurses it's interesting. This is exactly what happened. What you're saying. The two nurses were in shock. The two nurses that I had next to me, they're like, oh my God, code, they didn't say, oh my God, but there you can tell,
Yeah.
code blue. And I'm like, can't breathe, can't breathe, can't breathe. And I started to go blue. In comes the doctor. He grabs my hand, and this is exactly what he did.
Calms you
Breathe through your
down.
throat, breathe through your nose. You have two modes of breath, your mouth and your nose. Breathe through your nose, calm me down, breathe through your nose. Within 2 seconds, I was better. Exactly
It's
what you said.
amazing.
Yeah,
This
and
is amazing.
we
Yeah.
forget these tools. We have to remember that, the tools that you teach are so invaluable that we need to just somehow have them at the back of our head and be reminded of these. Yet we don't.
Yes, that's what I say always. Like, it's not enough to have the tools. You have to use the tools,
Got to exercise.
right? You have to use the tools because nothing is going to change if you're not going to use them, right? So what I was doing at the beginning, maybe that's going to help somebody. When I was learning all these tools, I would have my alarm on for every hour or every couple of hours. And then I would ask myself, okay, how do I feel right now? Where do I discover something? Where
Great
do I
tip.
feel the pain, right?
Love it.
And then
Love that tip.
I would go consciously and release it, right? Now it just happened when I breathe. I don't have to, when it's like, it depends, because when I have like, I'm growing and, I do experience fear as well, right?
Of course.
So
You would be
it's
lying to
something,
say if you didn't. You would be
yeah,
lying.
yeah,
Speak
yeah.
to my to say everything's amazing. You're
No,
not?
no, no. I work every day on myself, right? It doesn't matter where I am. But now I can breathe and I'm okay. I just feel the release. But it took some practice from my part. It took
Yeah.
some practice from my part. But the feelings, or the feeling of calmness, of emotional freedom I'm feeling right now, I wish everybody could feel that. And I'm just not saying that because, oh, look at me, I'm amazing. It's
No,
just such
I
a
think you're right.
powerful feeling. It's such a powerful way of living, really, right? I remember before I would get angry at anything. Now I'm like, just okay, that doesn't bother me. Why do I even, I don't argue anymore.
Wow. That's good. That's very good.
This for my husband especially.
See, you know what? That's a relationship. That's exactly what I was thinking. I'm like, we don't argue anymore. Okay, well, that's good. So is it something that you do together?
Do you know what? No, he is not really into personal growth. He's not really into personal development. He does his things, like he
Yeah.
listens to his, but I always believe if you want to change something, even relationship, it always starts with you, because when you change, everything around you change. And I
It-
remember when I invested in my first coach and I started to do all these crazy things, I did change. I did change. And he told me, I'm not sure what you're doing, but whatever you're doing, do, because it works, right? Because I was changing. And when I was changing, atmosphere around my house was changing, right? Because when I wasn't angry all the time, he wasn't responding to the anger, right?
Yeah.
So it's
Yeah.
just like
Sure.
a ripple effect. When we work on ourselves, when we release all these unnecessary baggages that we are holding on to, everything around us shifts, everything around us change, and
It
our
does.
relationships especially the closest.
Yeah. I have a question for you in closing. If you were to look in the mirror at your younger little girl self, what would you say to her right now, knowing all the stuff that you know?
Love yourself more, and accept yourself more. I feel a goosebumps,
Me too.
because I believe the inner child work. I still do that every single day. I still talk to my little girl. And even if I'm talking to my emotions, I feel it's like my little girl is holding on to something. So whenever I speak to her, I speak with love. Before, trust me, it wasn't like that, right? I would
Yeah.
punish myself. I would talk to myself badly. But I think the biggest thing that I will say to myself is love yourself.
On that note, Nana, thank you so much. And you're absolutely right. Breathwork works. Bye for now.
Thank you so much.